Hey guys, and welcome to my summary of the Letter from the Producer Live number 85, covering incoming patch 7.2 content. Patch 7.2 is going to launch late March 2025. Prior to 7.2, they will be launching patch 7.18 on February 25th, where we will have the Savage Loot lockouts removed and the Tomestone cap raised. The Playerscope plugin was directly addressed at the start of the live letter. They stated that they are aware that there's a third-party plugin that is using account ID, which is being used to confirm which characters belong to each account ID. They stated that you will never be able to get personal information from what the plugin developer has done, but they have stated that they are taking the plugin quite seriously and that they're not ignoring it. They started that starting in patch 7.2 that there are going to be direct actions to resolve this. As is standard with the mainline patch 7.2, there is going to be a brand new MSQ which will come with a brand new dungeon called the Underkeep, as well as a brand new trial called Recollection, which will of course include the extreme version and its special wings mount. In addition to that, there's going to be many additional side quests, including a new Qarn servant one, and then getting the Inconceivably further Hildibrand adventures continuing. They're also going to be adding new Allied Society quests for the Mamool Ja. As is standard with an even-numbered patch, we will be getting a brand new tombstone type, Elegant Tomestones of Mathematics. We better brush up on our primes. But this current capped tombstone will become uncapped. Poetics will remain as Poetics always remain, and then the uncapped tombstone type that we currently have will be exchangeable to relevant tomestones at NPCs, such as Ariana Grande at More Drama. Even number patch means that we're going to be getting a brand new Savage Raid tier, which is going to be the Arcadion Cruiserweight tier. They showcase this NPC, which I think is holding a spray canister, like a spray paint canister, a modern take on Pictomancer, I suppose, maybe? Maybe? That could be cool. But additionally, they also showed the dance floor and mentioned that the lights and other various dancing mechanics may be involved in it. They also did specify that there is one fight here with a much higher tempo, so that excites me because that reminds me of Barbaricha from how they phrased it, which honestly, that extreme fight remains to this day one of the most fun extreme fights by a landslide. I really enjoyed it. Duty support will be expanded to the side dungeon, the Sunken Temple of Qarn. PvP Series 8 begins, which will include many changes to existing PvP actions and new additional PvP actions for jobs, which, just to be clear, as with mainline patches, there is going to absolutely be PvE job rebalancing changes as well. Just clarifying that here. They, however, did mention that past PvP season rewards are being considered to potentially be re-added so that you can potentially earn them again. Frontline secure maps are now returning after modifications to the maps, as you can see from the screenshots. Next up is one of the major content additions with Dawntrail, Cosmic Exploration. Cosmic Exploration is a crafter-gatherer focused activity where you and others on your same world work towards towards objectives, not gil. Not everything needs to be gil. Bad call. But obviously, this being based on worlds, I have to say Gilgamesh represent. The developers did state that there will be a brand new world to explore each mainline patch, so 7.2, 7.3, 4, and 5. As you can see from the screenshots, there will be various objectives like growing out vegetation. This is achieved by doing missions and events as a community. For anyone who remembers, Ishgardian Restoration was very similar to this. At least this is personally giving me Ishgardian Restoration vibes. Also, I do want to say I need this lunar lander mount so bad. It brings me back to the old Mass Effect days roaming the planet, like, my god, that took me decades back in time. In Cosmic Exploration, we also get to make the moon gay. Is this the gay agenda? They also did state that many of these buildings that you can see in the screenshots you will be able to enter, and they did clarify that Island Sanctuary was a solo effort. This Cosmic Exploration is meant to be a group effort and bring it to be very much an MMORPG activity rather than something more solo like Island Sanctuary was. So another thing that they did clarify with this content was that when you did Ishgardian Restoration, you could really only see progress if you were there at the time. So with Cosmic Exploration, they were looking at allowing you to go back and see like the full progression cycle on your own. How exactly they plan to implement that remains to be seen, but I think that that is a huge perk, especially because this is probably going to be pretty evergreen content, and so it's going to really suck to be joining at the end. Like, let's say you resub at like patch 7.5 or whatever, and then it's like you miss out on all that. So I think that that's a very healthy thing for them to clarify. Unfortunately, that was all the information they were willing to give for this current live letter. However, they did state that details about the Gundam, the teleporter pads, and the inside of a Cosmic Exploration bases will be explored in the next live letter. Trust me, I'm right there with you. I want to figure out what the heck's going on with this. I'm actually curious. Darn it, that means I'm going to level crafters and gatherers. Shoot. I was avoiding it for so long. Next up is the content that I've personally been waiting for since Bozja, which is going to be the new field operation, the Occult Crescent, the new so-called Bozja or Eureka. To say that I'm personally excited as a player of this game about this content is such an understatement. This is my shit. I fucking love it so much. But they introduced this content with the following. In the treacherous waters of the Shades Triangle lies the Occult Crescent and the isle shrouded in mystery. Should you wish to unveil its secrets, you must explore the unmapped terrain and battle the island's inhabitants. They then provide numerous screenshots of the environment and some battles. They state that the map is actually quite massive and that we will be exploring it with many other players. The castle in one of the screenshots that you'll see, they actually stated is as big as the castle in Alamigo, and we're going to be definitely going in there. There's obviously also a lot of design inspiration that I can see here from like the city of Nim, where the scholars and the Tonberries have a lot of lore from. Like if you go to like Outer Leno's Cha-Cha, you can definitely see a lot of architecture that's very similar to this. They also said that there's going to be numerous content types that they learned that the player base enjoyed from Eureka and Bozja, all the way from small scale battles to much larger group battles. Also from the onset of this content immediately, we will be having a 48 player dungeon. Requirements to enter this content is going to be a level 100 combat job. Inside of the content, you will be able to raise what is going to be called a knowledge level, which is very similar to the medal system from what I'm understanding here from what they've told us, where in Bozja we basically leveled up our medal and then it would give us enhanced combat effectiveness. The knowledge level they stated will greatly impact your combat effectiveness, similar to that. Inside this content is also a mechanic called phantom jobs, which is something extremely interesting that I'm keeping my thoughts stunningly brief on here. But phantom jobs are something that we can use in the Isle, and when equipped with a phantom job, you're given new actions that you can use alongside your main job. They give an example of warrior where if you go with the monk phantom job on your warrior that you're going to get more damaging abilities, but if you go with bard you get more supportive abilities. And to note, on the other screenshot we see Geomancer and Chemist here, which are very much requested jobs. Chemist and Geomancer have been talked about a hell of a lot. The developers, however, addressed that, saying that they will be implementing more jobs in 8.0 and in the future. But some past jobs may not work effectively in the MMORPG setting that Final Fantasy XIV is in, and if they did, maybe they would need to be extensively modified or lose their identity. And so with the phantom job system, they can allow themselves to really express these phantom jobs and go a little crazy with it. Tied to this system is the relic weapons for Dawntrail, which they're calling like the weapons upgrade system, just relic weapons. And there will be two methods to do this. The first is that you do content inside the island, and the second is engaging in existing activities, much like the Shadowbringer's relic weapon. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments. I have so many things that I'm stopping myself from saying right now. I am very excited for this content. I went all Endwalker without my personal favorite form of content, and I'm just so fucking happy to see it back.